Hey guys, it's me. That was weird. So yeah. Ow. There isn't a place to put my arm. So, my shoulders look really broad. How do I fix that? I'm just gonna start this, because clearly this is not working. Here we are again. We're back to another Thursday-bee. I don't know about you guys, but it's a pretty damn stressful Thursday-bee, for me at least, so that's a personal story. I don't know why I'm stalling, because I really don't have time for this, because I got a lot of schoolwork, so the topic is the coming out process, which I already did a video on it before, like my personal story about coming out. You guys should totally check it out if you want to. I guess just to expand more about it, not my personal story, but I guess just like the general, not guidelines, but advice I could give. I think it's a lot easier to come out to your friends than it is to come out to your parents. It's different for all people, obviously, but I just know for me and for other teens it usually is. So my advice would be, you know, like, start telling your friends first. For me, I think the two closest people to me knew last. I feel like the fear is with telling people you're super close to is that they felt like they didn't know you, like a huge part of who you are. And so I feel like that's why a lot of people kind of like stall on telling their parents or their siblings or their best friends, because it's a lot of a bigger deal. I think it's a good idea, you know, to start telling like good friends that you kind of feel comfortable telling. I think it's really good to start there, and from there to keep them going on. I think coming out to people is a really great way to actually getting closer to them and connecting with them a lot more. I think it's important though to not use the coming out process as a chance to earn someone's pity or like to have them like you more. I don't know if that really makes sense to you, but I don't know. The really big one is always telling your parents. Like I said in my video before, I think it's really hard to tell your parents because it's one of the first real times your parents are kind of forced to even think of you with a sex drive, and that's just awkward. Essentially, it's like you're going up to your parent and being like, "Hi, mom and dad, I just want to let you know I like the idea or I like having sex with women." It's uncomfortable and it's awkward, but it's a really great way to get closer with your parents. You're showing them a side to you that you're just learning how to show, and I think a lot of people, especially nowadays, they can really understand and sympathize with you. I feel like they're going to be really proud of you and even admire you. So I think that's like really important to know. I keep on forgetting what I'm saying. So, So, I mean, when it comes to just talking to your parents and coming out to your parents, I think, honestly, there's no real way to not make it emotional unless, like, I don't know. There's obviously exceptions, but I can't even think of one right now. I think it's really important to say to them, you know, it's not what makes me who I am, but it's a huge part of who I am. And I think that's something you guys deserve to know. You're still their daughter or son, and that's never going to change. I think a huge thing you also just need to remember when coming out is that there's no correct way to respond to it. That's a huge thing you have to remember. Even when it comes to your best friend or your sister and things like that, like, they're probably not expecting it, or, you know, even if they are, you can't rehearse the way you're going to respond, especially if it's someone that means a lot to you. I don't think you should ever get offended with the way someone responded, even if it's out of anger or they're just super quiet or they get super awkward. They just don't know what to do. I think it's really good to help them understand that you know that, and when they start to respond, just be like, hey, like, I'm not expecting you to say anything, and like, I know if you want to take some time to let it sink in and things like that, that's fine. Just, I want to let you know that I love you a lot. I'm not going to be mad at you for the way you're reacting right now. Especially parents. I know my parents took a couple of weeks to really let it sink in and things like that. I think it's really important to let them have their time and not get offended for them to take their time and not really stress out about it. It's just as new to them as it was to you the first time you realized. But I think something that a lot of people don't cover about the coming out process is that in a weird way, it doesn't really end. In every new environment you go to, there's going to be a new set of people you'll have to essentially come out to, whether it's a workplace or school or even like a camp. I think it's important when it comes to like coming out to like new friends, things like that, and letting them know you're gay. I think it can be something really casual. If someone brings up like their celebrity crushes and they ask you theirs, answer honestly. I always answer with like female actresses, or if someone accidentally slips up, or you know, just like asks you if you have a boyfriend or girlfriend if you're a man. I think it's really good to make sure that they don't feel awkward, especially if you're going to be with them in the future or like things like that. I think you can just let them casually know like, hey, like men or women aren't really my thing. Or if you have a girlfriend, just be like, oh, I don't have a boyfriend, but I have a girlfriend. And you know, make sure they don't feel bad about it, because you know it's not their fault if they don't really know. So just be like, hey, like it's not your fault, like I get that all the time, or like I don't blame you for thinking otherwise. Some man or some woman is gonna slip up and like ask you something that has to do with a significant other or sexuality. It doesn't have to be a big deal. You've come out one big time, you don't need to do it again. I also think if you've come out to all of your friends and family and all of that stuff, I think I just want to let you know that it's totally normal to kind of retreat back and start questioning yourself again and be like, maybe I'm bisexual, maybe I'm actually straight, maybe this is just a phase and things like that. It's one of those things where it's like, even though you've known yourself that you're gay and things like that and you're happy to tell people, like it's still an adjustment for you. This is the first time where it's not a secret anymore and you don't have to hide yourself anymore. And I think although it's great, it's super great, you might also feel a little vulnerable and you might feel like there's no going back and things like that. And I just want to let you know that it's totally normal to feel that way. In a way, coming out is just putting like another label on yourself. But don't let people think it's not a label you can change. Never keep your options closed. And I just think that's something really good to remember. That is what I think about it. So I'm secretly stalling because you know what? I don't want to do schoolwork. Boom, da, boom, boom, da, boom, boom. I have so much schoolwork to do. It was like a bang and now it's like growing out. So do you guys like ever wonder if like you cut off a hand, maybe you wouldn't have to take a test? No. Is that just me? I'm gonna leave.